Hello everyone, I'm Bruffy1322 and this video is going to show the fastest fully upgraded off-road vehicles in terms of top speed. We're quickly going to go over the slowest vehicles right now, and as always the position counter is in the top left with the actual top speed the car achieved in the top right. This video only focuses on straight line performance, so if you're interested in racing where braking, cornering and acceleration are all relevant, check the link in the description for the lap time testing series. And if you want to know more information about this testing, including the extent to which it's accurate and how useful it is for you personally, have a read of the full description as everything that you need is in there. This video lists all vehicles and it is correct as of the Super Sport series update. For vehicles added after that, or other classes of cars, check the playlist linked in the second line of the description, and feel free to check out my Patreon if you want to get these testing results a few days before the video goes up every Thursday. So, this is the top speed for the off-road vehicles, which we saw the lap time testing for last week, and largely it's quite similar, it's quite the same as what we saw from the lap time testing series, but there are some notable differences when we get to the sort of top end. But the overall top speeds of these off-road vehicles aren't that great as an average. They're very similar to what you see from the Vans class, which we've also covered. Obviously that's the video for the Vans is in the playlist as well. Getting up to that sort of 100 mph range. We see the Technical Aqua here, exactly the same top speed as the regular Technical, even though the Technical Aqua is upgraded, but it is better around the corners, which is why it gets a better lap time. And obviously when we have ties in the top speed, the vehicle that gets the better lap time is the one that gets the better position, even though they share the same top speed. But in general, the top speeds of some of these vehicles aren't all that great, specifically some of the lower down vehicles, as we saw with the Lifeguard Blazer being the slowest of the bunch. But also, as I mentioned in that previous lap time testing video, we have seen an incredible expansion of vehicles within the off-road class. That is just, there's so many around that now that it's quite difficult to keep track of in some respects. We got all the Blazers, or most of the Blazers here, and they all share sort of exactly the same top speed of 98.8 miles per hour here, just before we hit that sort of 20th place position. The Blazer Aqua here with 98.8, it's impressive that it does so well in terms of lap time, considering it's got such a low top speed, and that goes for all the Blazers really, but they are more known for their cornering ability than they are their top speeds. And then we've got the two Sand Kings sharing the same top speed here. I forgot to mention in the lap time testing video that both of the Sand Kings under the hood are actually exactly the same. That's why you see that they're sharing exactly the same top speed. But obviously their body difference, with the SWB being the short wheelbase version, the XL being the long wheelbase version, that does have an effect on how the vehicles handle around the corners, and it is the short wheelbase version that is better for that. The Insurgent Pickup Custom is the first into the top 20 with a 99.3, and is the quickest of the Insurgents, and that goes the same for the Technical as well, although we haven't seen the Technical Custom yet, so the Technical Custom is slightly quicker than the Insurgent Pickup Custom in terms of top speed, whereas it's the opposite way around for lap time. But both of the custom versions, whether it's lap time or top speed, are quicker than their original counterparts. So something that I want to sort of cover in this video that was asked quite a lot in the lap time testing video, I got the same comments over and over again about it, is that the question of where some vehicles are in the list. There's some vehicles that were asked about that are kind of missed out of the list, and people expecting them to be seen in this video. Now, these videos only focus on vehicles that are officially listed in each class, so only the vehicles that say when you get in them in free roam or whatever it is, you see in the bottom right hand corner it tells you the name of the vehicle and then the class that it's in. That is the official listing of class specific vehicles. Every single vehicle has one class and one class only. Now, whilst there is many vehicles that can actually be used in off-road races, anything that's not in this video actually isn't in the off-road class specifically. There's a lot of vehicles that are in different classes that can be used in off-road races. For example, the Patriot, which is in the SUVs class, that can be used in off-road races, and a variety of other things as well, like the Guardian, which is technically in the industrial class, the June, which is in the service vehicles class. The Manches and the Enduro, which we're asked about, are in the motorcycles class, but they actually can't be used in off-road races. As for the Sanchez and the BF400, which are in the motorcycles class and can be used in off-road races, those are at the end of the video like they were for the lap time testing video as bonus vehicles, so you will see the top speeds for those as well. Also the Contender, that is in SUVs as well, so every single vehicle has one class, and if you don't see a vehicle in this video, it isn't in the off-road class, it's somewhere else in a different class entirely. And of course they will be covered in their own class specific videos as we go through them, and many of them have already been featured in their own class specific videos. Check the playlist down below in the description for that. So coming on to almost the top 10, we got the Dubster 6x6 here, just missing out on that top 10 position with 103.3 miles per hour for its top speed. And this is pretty much exactly what I was saying, you know, a lot of the vehicles that we've just seen, with even the new Caracara for example, not really doing too much to break that 100 mile per hour barrier. Just sneaking into the top 10 is the Riata, but again, not really that much beyond 100 miles per hour with 104.0, and that is still slower than the quickest van in terms of top speed, as we saw from the van's top speed testing video. So the top speeds of off-road vehicles aren't really all that great overall until we sort of get to the final few, which we'll see in a few short minutes. Night Shark does relatively well to get up into 9th place overall with 104.8 miles per hour. Maybe we could have expected it to be a little bit better, but ultimately it just doesn't really have that top speed that in the same way that most off-road vehicles don't. And as I said in the lap time testing video, it was very balanced in terms of lap time with things like the Trophy Truck and the Desert Raid, and as we'll see in terms of top speed as well, it's pretty much on that same sort of pace. 8th place for the Ramp Buggy with a spoiler version. This is the one that you can only access in missions and you can't upgrade or store. 105.3 miles per hour for that one, so pretty much to be expected, you know, pretty bog standard off-road vehicles top speed. And then following that in 7th place, we've got an old vehicle, the Injection. Again, that's sort of similar, 106.5 miles per hour top speed that a lot of vehicles in the around this area share. And it's just, you know, it's interesting to think that across the course of say 15 miles per hour, it contains the majority of the vehicles in the off-road class. It was quite far ago in terms of positions that we were seeing vehicles with, you know, 90 mile per hour top speed, and then since then we've had a lot of vehicles all squashed into that short range. So from that perspective, it's quite well balanced in that there's not an awful lot of vehicles that are either too high or too low, but they're just not that quick overall. 6th place here, we got the Desert Raid with 106.5 mile per hour for its top speed, which is exactly the same as what we saw from the Injection, but it is quicker around the track. And then just ahead of it, sneaking into the top 5, is the Trophy Truck with a top speed of 107.0. So, like I said in the lap time testing video, the Trophy Truck and the Desert Raid are kind of the same vehicle underneath, you know, there's only tiny differences between them, but ultimately you can pick either one and you'll get similar results with them. But just ahead of the Trophy Truck in 4th place, narrowly missing out on the top 3, is the Bifta. And very old, one of the older vehicles that we've seen in this list. Obviously it came with the very first DLC, the Beach Bum DLC. Still puts in a good performance to get up into 4th place overall for top speed. Only 0.3 of a mile per hour quicker than the Trophy Truck, but you know, still pretty respectable. But this is where we start to see more major increases in top speed as we get into the top 3. Because in 3rd place we've got the Ramp Buggy. Now this did very well in terms of lap time. Obviously if you want to see the lap times for all of these vehicles, check the link in the description. But 113.0 miles per hour for its top speed is very, very respectable. That's obviously fully upgraded. This is exactly the same as the spoiler version of the Ramp Buggy, except this version is storable and upgradable. But then in 2nd place, another big jump to the Camacho, which gets a top speed of 116.8 miles per hour. So a good 3 and a bit miles per hour quicker than the Ramp Buggy. And when you consider that most of the vehicles in this class couldn't even top that 106 mile per hour, 107 mile per hour area, this is a very, very good top speed for a very competitive vehicle. But ultimately number 1 is the Brawler. This has always been the number 1 in terms of top speed for the off-road class since it was released, and nothing has changed. With a top speed of 117.8 miles per hour, it is the undoubted king for top speed for the off-road class. But with the Camacho being sort of, you know, right there on its heels, it's not quite as comfortable as what it used to be. At this point, feel free to subscribe for new testing videos every Thursday and update videos when new cars are released. and check out other classes in the playlist. But we do have 2 more vehicles to cover, which are bonus vehicles, and they are the bikes that are allowed to be used in off-road races. Like I said before, these are strictly speaking motorcycles, it's just that they're allowed to be used in off-road races as well. The Manches and the Enduro aren't given that privilege, but the ultimate king is of course the BF400. With a top speed of 137.0 miles per hour, it absolutely demolishes everything in the off-road class, whether it's lap time or top speed, and there's literally no point in using anything else unless there's a water hazard that a bike can't get through on the track. So the BF400, despite not being in the off-road class, completely demolishes the off-road class. Now, just to let you know that the top speed that you see there from the BF400 is slightly different to what it was in the motorcycles top speed testing video. That's because the top vehicles in the motorcycles top speed testing were done slightly incorrectly when I did it originally. So there is going to be another update video for the motorcycles top speed testing that will clear that up and give you guys the full picture of the top speed for the motorcycles. But yeah, the BF400 it has a very, very high top speed, and when you compare it to anything in the off-road class, it just demolishes everything. And it does question, you know, when you see the Manches and the Enduro, which are 2 pretty much off-road bikes that can't be used in off-road races, but the Sanchez and the BF400 can, and the Sanchez and the BF400 beat everything else in terms of lap time and top speed, especially the BF400, which is just ridiculous. You know, it's a very, very questionable decision to even have these be available in off-road races. But it is what it is. That is Rockstar for you. But and as for this video, that's pretty much it. Remember to read the description for more info, comment with your thoughts, like the video if you enjoyed it, found it helpful, subscribe for more, and consider supporting on Patreon. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.